Hey fall flowers, Violet here. Welcome to part 2 of the turtle, elephant, whatever it is that you're going to be making. Today's video we're going to be doing the body of the animal, so the part that has kind of this ball or like spherical shape to it. So this is where we were left off with in our last video where we started the stitch. And so in this one we're going to be working through the running stitch, and when I say like stitch, I want you to think in terms of fours, because really when you do the stitch, you want to try to do 4 at a time. Another way to kind of think about this is that you have strings that are on your top and then you have body strings. So the brown are my body strings, and those are what I start my stitches off with when I make 2 loops like the box stitch. I'm making those with the browns. And then the top strings are going to be the whites. And you'll also see that as you make this lanyards, those top strings are going to end up being kind of the detailing over the body of it. And then the brown will be kind of the base color. So I'm going to weave these ones over and under, and then we'll turn this lanyard and we're going to do stitch number 2 out of 4. Okay, so check this out. We just did that stitch. Now we're going to rotate this lanyard, and I'm going to look for 2 more strings that are facing each other. So if you look at these 2 brown strings, sorry, I hit my tripod. If you look at these 2 brown strings right here, they are facing each other. So that is how you know that we're ready to do a stitch right there. And I'm going to make 2 loops with that, and then find the closest white strings and weave those over and under. Now we pull that tight, and that pretty much satisfies stitch number 2 out of our 4. So now we will turn it again. So rotating this lanyard, looking for 2 more brown strings that are facing each other. Now let's make 2 loops with these. And now I'm looking for the nearest white strings, which is this one right here. So that will go over the string on the left. And then this string right here will go over the right and then under the loop, the other brown loop right here. And we'll pull that one through and pull it tight. That's number 3 out of 4. Now we're going to turn it again. And right here are the last 2 of our set of 4. And find those whites again. And weave those over and under to pull it tight. So again, my biggest tip for doing this and not messing it up is remember the rule of 4s with this stitch, and you can't go wrong. The other tricky thing I'd say is maybe trying to figure out when the first time you're doing this, which ones are your whites, or like which are the whites that you need to use. And again, just going with the closest whites to those 2 brown loops, and you should be good to go. So you can see that after I've done all 4, I'm back to where I have 4 strings that are facing each other, and that's how you know that you did it right. So you can see all of these 4 brown strings are in groups of 2 again. And that's a good sign. So if you don't have this after 4 stitches, you know that you probably went wrong somewhere. And for that, I would recommend take out a stitch, see if you're back at 4. If you're not, take out another stitch, see if you're back at 4. Take out another stitch, see if you're back at 4. And make sure that if you get lost, that you start back at where you have all those groups, and then try it again. Now, if you get that down, then you'll just want to keep repeating those stitches in groups of 4s, and eventually you'll see that you're starting to get it branching and spinning out. So this is just, I think, 3 or 4 stitches in, but I'll show you again in a couple more stitches what that looks like. Here it is after another stitch and another. And eventually, just naturally, after tightening the strings, it should start to kind of curve. But if it's not curving for you, you can help it along by putting your thumb in the center of it and using your other fingers to kind of press it down. And that should help to guide the strings downwards to get. You can also try, when you finish like a set of 4, tightening all 4 around the circle afterwards and pulling in like the string that's pointed towards the center of where the body would be, pulling that one especially tight will also kind of help guide those strings inward. So that's it for part 2 of the elephant. Subscribe for part 3, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Keep blooming. Bye-bye.